Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today with me I have a good friend of mine. This is Brian Cheney. He's from all over the place. And when I say all over the place, you recently went to Thailand.
Indeed, we got invited to the launch of a brand new TVS motorcycle, and it was a world reveal in Bangkok of the brand new TVS RTR 310.
Usually when an Indian bike builder builds motorcycles, it's for India, because quite frankly, that's enough.
It is.
Yeah.
The numbers are staggering.
And they're sort of now looking, and there seems to be a growing trend among Indian motorcycles, in that they're sort of looking at the rest of the world.
They are definitely, and worldwide, the category 250 to 450 are selling like 47% of motorcycles worldwide in that category are sold in India.
Jeez,
where another 28% is sold in South America and about 11% in Asia. So they are looking to expand on that. I mean, and this is why that 310 is so huge for them, because it's a massive market. It's a very aggressive looking motorcycle. It's a good looking motorcycle.
310. I mean, interestingly, TVS has a manufacturer relationship with BMW, who also have a 310 that is built by TVS. So, coincidence?
The collaboration between BMW and TVS have been going now for 10 years. I think they started back in 2013, where they shared technologies and everything. But this bike was developed by TVS, and as far as I could gather from the people there, the arrangement was that TVS can also use this technology, but there shouldn't be overlapping markets. So they couldn't just slap a TVS badge on the 310 GS, G310. So what you ended up having is the G310 GS from BMW and the 310R, and then TVS went a superbike looking one that they called the Apache 310RR.
Yeah.
It had a completely different dash. It had it's fully faired, and that is also a very good looking motorcycle.
Yes. And now they've kind of built a naked motorcycle. I wonder if there's not a little bit of friction there.
I don't know. Well, the technology that they've done in this bike is hopefully going to spill over onto the BMWs as well. But this is now new territory. They're blurring the lines a bit now.
Okay, so the motor is a single cylinder if I remember correctly, it was a 313cc.
312 point something.
Yeah,
thereabouts.
Don't get all German on me now. It's roughly sort of there. So pretty much the same motor as the G310, although slightly souped up a little bit, I believe.
They did do something. They have a new forged aluminium piston that they could do something. They could up the compression ratio a bit, which means that it pushes out about 1.5 horsepower more, and I think 1.4.
Yeah, but it's more.
It's more.
It's got to be more.
It's and about 1.4 newton meters of torque.
So it's around
more.
36 horsepower.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Okay.
It's still.
So no, but I find really amazing about this bike is not necessarily, the motor and all of that. What I find interesting is the electronics package.
They went to town on this thing.
I mean, wow. Okay, just tell us about this.
Okay. They started off with a 6-axis IMU.
6-axis.
6-axis.
6-axis IMU is what MotoGP bikes use.
There we go.
Then
they've got cornering ABS. They've got cornering traction control. They've got wheelie control. They've got stoppie control. They've got.
I love what they call the stoppie control. What was
slope dependent control. Basically, when you're going down a steep downhill and you pull the front brake, the rear won't lift. It's as simple as that. They've got all that, and they've added cruise control to this bike.
Yeah.
Cruise control on a 310.
Yeah. Wow.
And on top of that, they've now gone cornering cruise control. So that when you start leaning for a corner and your cruise control is on, then it throttles off just slightly so that you can negotiate the corner better. And when it senses that you're picking the bike back up, it brings you back up to speed.
It's a very clever little motorcycle, yeah. But I mean, cornering ABS, cornering all of that stuff. You said 5 rider modes.
5 rider modes, yeah. It's got 5 rider modes. The normal, the sport, the rain. It's even got a track mode. And then it's got a super motard mode which disables the ABS on the back brakes.
Yeah.
So you can slide the corner. You can slide the bike into a corner if you're that way inclined.
And of course, a very pretty TFT dash.
Indeed. And the thing is with that is that for every rider mode that you select, the whole TFT dash has got a a different
Yeah.
display.
So like a Triumph. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool.
Very cool.
So the launch itself, I mean, in terms of riding and everything, what did it all entail?
Okay, we were quite a large number of journalists there. So they divided us into 4 groups. I was in the 4th group, and what we did was the morning group rode through town to the track, then had a bit of track time, and then they took us to the track. So we had a couple of laps on the track, and then we had to ride the bikes back in Bangkok traffic back to the hotel in the afternoon.
Well, that must have been interesting. But I mean, first of all, okay, the track itself. I mean, first of all, a track. I mean, wow, this
Yeah.
is something already. That must be good fun.
It was good fun. It's a very small track, almost similar to Red Star. It's a small technical track. What they did was they took us out for 2 laps as a sighter behind one of the TVS riders, just to see where the bumps are and stuff like that, and then they let us loose to just ride the way we want to, and that was good fun. The bike has got fully adjustable KYB suspension, front
Wow.
and back.
Okay, just to point out something, I mean, a couple of weeks ago on the show, we had a Suzuki 8S, the new thing. That's got KYB suspension, not adjustable though. This literally has better suspension than a 800cc twin Suzuki.
Oh, it's amazing. But the thing is, again, one of them journalists there he's a British superbike rider. He was telling us that he would have loved to have a few laps and then be able to adjust the suspension to suit him better. But the bike was a lot of fun. This is also the superbike rider that said, all right, you have 5 laps, and he thought, well, if he wants to have more laps, and the only way to do that is to lap all the other riders.
Lap people and see if you can get yourself a 6 lap.
There we
well,
go.
either that or the people he laps only gets 4 laps.
Well, I didn't count, but it was a lot of fun. The other thing about the bike is that the last corner, just before you get onto the main straight, is a fairly tricky corner. It closes up on you. And this bike comes standard with Michelin Road 5 tires.
Wow, okay.
I mean, and if it wasn't for that, my race would have ended prematurely.
Done a bit of farming.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's a really well spec'd bike,
Yeah.
and the tires are up to it, and it was good fun riding around the track
Yeah.
there.
And then you had a dash back to
Oh,
Bangkok.
good grief.
This sounds like fun.
What they did was they had the Thai police escorting us. Now these guys were on the CB500X. Now for the first bit we were riding through urban, through the countryside,
Yeah.
and they were sort of adhering to the traffic laws, stopping behind cars and whatever. But when we got to Bangkok, there's this massive stretch of road, this big highway, and the police just disappeared. So we had to try and keep up with him, and that's where we got to measure the top speed of this 310, around about 157, 158, chasing the police down in Bangkok. But it was good fun. It was good
I'm
fun.
just imagining these guys flat out through the city of Bangkok at 160 kilometers an hour chasing policemen. I've been to a lot of launches. I've never had that before.
No, but it was good fun, especially the city riding. Bangkok is incredibly congested.
Yeah.
Everybody's on a motorbike, and the police, when we got to the congestion, they also sort of adhere to the laws, stay behind the cars, and eventually they just said, bugger this, and we got on the pavement and we just rode in between the traffic. It was good fun. It was good fun, and there I think is where the 310 really shone, because that's what it's made for. It's made for.
Now it is coming to South Africa. I mean, how do you think it's going to do here?
It's coming to South Africa towards the end of the year, but South Africans are still not quite there yet with small capacity bikes. We do see that with the new Honda 500X, they are starting to tick over, because I'm hoping that people see the benefit.
And is there a word on price yet for South Africa?
No word on price, but if the 310RR price, which is a lot.
How much is that?
Around about 80,000 thereabouts. You can just check the
Yeah.
values,
Although
but it's a lot
okay,
less than the
That
BMW.
doesn't come with all the suspension and all the electronics added to it. So I
No.
can imagine this will be more than that. But I wonder, I mean, the G310 is what, 110,000 rand?
It's a lot.
So even if it's the same as a G310, it's already damn good value for money.
It's very good value for money, and I think that's the thing. But the key is, we need to get the mind shift in our country that you get one as your daily runabout, and yes, you can have your 1290 gazillion horsepower bike for the weekends, but have that as your daily runaround. I love it.